Welcome to Tex Murphy Radio Theater. When we last left our hero, Tex had been forced to escape back into his jail cell after overhearing that Louis had mortgaged his life savings to bail him out. Tex's first stop is Chelsea's apartment, where he discovers several leads and a quick-footed intruder. Sensing that time is running out, Tex decides to gamble Louis's brontosaurus-sized nest egg and skip town in search of Chelsea's brother Chance. And now, our sixth and final episode, at least for now, Games of Chance.
A stroke of luck, eh, Mr. Donnelly? What are the odds of us both being on this very train? But I wouldn't imagine a man of your disposition believes in coincidence.
Well, sure I do. I also believe Martians landed in New Jersey last Halloween.
And do you also believe in the... what is it called? Easter rabbit?
Easter bunny. That one I'm not so sure about.
Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. I am the Easter bunny.
No kidding. I thought you'd look different.
It's true. You see, I know where you can find the most amazing Easter egg.
It's blown up the bridge!
They know we're here.
Come on, princess!
All they want is the key. Let's go back. If I give it to them, they'll let us go.
It's too late to go back now. Shut up and run! The dreams were becoming clearer, more intense, but they still didn't make any sense. It was like I was in someone else's nightmares. When I woke up this time, it took a second for me to remember that I really was on a train, the disoriented express. 2 hours earlier, I'd made a new friend in the pawn shop business, and his name didn't rhyme with crook. My so-called friend would have accused me of stealing Chelsea's books, and while that was technically true, I didn't need to hear it from him. Besides, Chance Bando had been right about the old books. They were worth a bundle, and Rook would have lied through his wooden teeth and given me pennies on the dollar. The bitter little midget was so tight dogs howled whenever he passed gas. As it was, my new pawn shop pal had given me more cash for the books than I'd earned in the past 2 years. Granted, that wasn't saying much, but it was enough to get the ball rolling, or highball, as it were.
What can I get you?
Bushmills and water with a shot of Bailey's. Make it a triple and hold the water.
One Irish makeover coming up.
I don't know why I'd taken the train. Maybe it was the romantic in me, but it was also cheaper than flying and faster than walking. A few rounds later, we were within view of the strip. I grabbed a cab and introduced myself to, Amado Hajer Mephisto Kamala? As we rose above the desert sands and sailed for Deluxe Importing-Exporting, I asked if he was one of the Pacific Grove Do Hajer Mephistola Kami Dasola. But he informed me that the spelling was different and then refused to talk to me for the remainder of the flight. 10 minutes later, he dropped me off at a strip mall. Chance's establishment was sandwiched between the Peep Show Palace and an Indian restaurant. The Navajo taco sounded pretty darn good, but I was driven by a sense of urgency, and I was hoping Chance's place had a restroom. Front door was good and locked. I thought about kicking it in and doubted anyone would care, but all things considered, I thought it best not to attract any unnecessary attention. Besides, my bladder felt like a cracked piñata, and one good jolt might cause me to spill the goodies. I jogged as gently as possible around the back of the strip mall. I was about to irrigate the desert floor when I saw something that made me immediately forget my P's and Q's. A sliver of light through a slightly open back door of Deluxe Importing-Exporting. I slipped inside and crept towards the source of the light. I peered around the corner into a small office lit by a green-shaded banker's lamp. I liked what I saw. The dame was turned away from me, thumbing through the contents of a file cabinet drawer. Raven hair tumbled onto the shoulders of her cream-colored blouse. A close-fitting black skirt with an impossibly narrow waist stopped just above her knees. And the dark seam in her sheer black nylons ran straight down into the heels of her glossy black pumps. I needed a cigarette.
Make one move and I'll scream.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
What are you doing here?
Just having a cool, refreshing Llama Light. What are you doing here?
I work here.
Well, you should try unlocking the front door. I've heard it's good for business.
We're not open. Mr. Bando isn't here, and I'm just his personal assistant.
Ah, business must be incredible. Allow me to introduce myself. The name's Tex Murphy, and I'm friends with Chance's sister. She disappeared, and I think he might know something about it. Oh, and I am a PI. I've got a license and everything.
Let me see.
So, where's your boss?
I wish I knew. He's been gone over a week and I haven't a word. He's never done this before, and I'm afraid something may have happened to him.
You got any proof of that? Or is that what you were looking for in the file cabinet?
No. He said he'd write me a check, but he didn't. I need to pay the rent on my flat.
Your flat? Tell you what, doll. I got so much cash I'm walking with a limp. Maybe we can work something out. Let me go ahead and clarify that. I think the phone is ringing.
I don't answer the telephone.
It's no wonder he doesn't pay you.
It's not that. Chance insists on handling all the customers directly. I'm not to answer any calls.
Mr. Bando?
Who wants to know?
You're late for your appointment with Mr. Kazastanus.
How late?
9 days. If you want to see your sister in one piece, you have exactly 1 hour. Be at the middle roulette table at the Palladium. Play nothing but black 11, $100 bets. We'll find you.
Who was it?
I didn't say. But I'd guess he was some kind of hired thug. Tell me, what would I have to do to pass myself off as Chance Bando? According to my new acquaintance Juliette, all I had to do was lose my hairline, shrink about a foot, and beat myself silly with an ugly stick. It was a moot point. My hunch had been dead on. Chelsea was still alive. But Chance wasn't around to save her, so it was up to me to pinch hit. Juliette was nice enough to let me ogle her legs out of the corner of my eye as she gave me a ride to the Parthenon. Don't get me wrong, Chelsea was still the girl of my dreams. Come on, even Chelsea would have stared at her.
No more bets?
I was down 1,200 clams when I finally saw the little ball fall into the 11 slot. Not surprisingly, at that exact moment I found myself moving backwards involuntarily. As someone stepped in neatly to take my spot at the table, I turned to see two quasi-humans the size of vending machines on either side of me, squeezing my arms like they were tubes of toothpaste. The room I was taken to resembled a Grecian palace, only nicer. In the middle of the opulent cavern was a single poker table with 5 incredibly fat, poorly dressed slobs. The overall effect was like a tiny cigarette burn in the middle of the Mona Lisa. One of the players looked up just long enough to remove his soggy cigar and wipe a thread of spittle from his lip.
That ain't Bando. Get rid of it.
Where the hell is Chelsea?
What do you care?
She's my... Well, she's my girlfriend, I guess. Pretty much. After old Poker Face calmed down, we laid our figurative cards on the table. He admitted that he had the goods, as Chelsea was apparently known in these parts. He went on to say that he'd been a long-time customer of Chance's, who it seems had been making a good living of procuring slightly illegal black market merchandise, in particular items from one of the more evil factions in World War II. Several months earlier, Chance had been the go-between on a deal for a certain artifact. Kazastanus had fronted a down payment for it, then Chance had amscrayed. Most of what Kazastanus said was Greek to me, but it all boiled down to this.
I'm a sporting kind of guy, Murphy. I don't want to do nothing to your girl, and I'll hand her over to you safe and sound. And I don't even care if it's to you or to her brother. But you either gotta find the artifact, or give me my 600 grand.
With that, the wet cigar went back into his mouth and I went bye-bye. As I was loaded unceremoniously into a taxi, they handed me the $3,500 I'd won at the roulette table. Kazastanus really was a good sport, but I didn't like the odds he'd given me. Coming up with 600 grand was just ridiculous. and he hadn't bothered to mention what the artifact was. On the bright side, I still had a pulse, and I was up 23 bills for my night's work. I leaned back and closed my eyes as the taxi started to fly off into the sunset. Hold up a second.
The thing you're looking for, everyone's looking for it. It's in the possession of the Armageddonists. But I'm telling you now, they would give it up to get their hands on you.
Why would they want me?
It's not you they want. It's who you were.